All right, hi, how are you doing, guys? Today we have a very janky situation, and it's mostly the way I'm recording things. I'm gonna have to show you how to use not only the computer, also set up the AI locally or on a server remotely, and also how to access it through your phone. Basically, with OpenWebUI, you can choose any AI you like, from large models like Deepseek V3, R1, Quen, ChatGPT, Google, just to name a few. Some of them are paid and some of them are free to use. You can also use your local models through LM Studio. However, they're not going to be as powerful again as the larger models that are free. But there are some instances where you do want to use your local model over a model like DeepSeek or ChatGPT. Those use cases are if you want a specific data set in that model. So let's say if you wanted to have like a horror personality, like a MiniMax kind of horror, like if you talk about Cthulhu. All right, how to get it installed. But you're gonna have to go to the Pinocchio home screen, right? You're gonna go to Discover, click on Open Web UI, right? And you're gonna click on that one and install it. So step one, right? Once you install it, you open it, you're gonna go to the share application screen. And we're gonna need this because we wanna use our cell phone to access this as well. So technically this will be running locally on your desktop, but it will be shared through Cloudflare tunneling, either on your local network or through the internet to your phone. You're gonna put in a passcode here, or no passcode, but obviously you'll want a passcode, and you're gonna get a QR code. So that QR code is gonna be useful later when I show you how to tunnel into this. All right, configuring the application. This is where you're going to put in your API keys and your, let's say, passcode. As you can see, I just put 1234. I'll change it in a bit. And yeah, so now we're going to click into our Open Web UI. Right, so we're going to click Open Web UI. And you see here, I have the models loaded, but you're not going to have this option, right? If you don't have, and so I have the local models at the top, and I have the open router ones, which I'll show you right now how to use here. So the ones that you have installed on your LM Studio or the ones you have loaded on LM Studio or Llama or something local will appear first. You can set up that connection if it's not automatically enabled under settings. And I'll get to that after I show you Open Router. So I recommend you get Open Router. All you have to do is use your Google account or any other account, I guess. I think it requests you to use Google account. And you're going to have access to all the big free models. So here, if you click on models, you can sort or filter through free. You can see that we have Deepseek available, the full version, the large version, 85 billion parameters. We have the R1, also the large version. And we have other ones like Gemini, Quen 235B, Llama 4 Maverick. So some of these are not runnable on local hardware unless you have like a very powerful server. Even then, it's not gonna work as well as you would hope. So let's say you're gonna go into the Deepseek v3. You're gonna click on, you can see there's two instances of them, 128,000 K context ones and 168. Both of them are free. They do have different speeds, so I guess it's up to your luck which one you get at which point. But you're gonna click API, and you're gonna have to create an API key. Once you click this and you name it, you're gonna get a long string of characters, and that is your API key. Again, so this is associated to your account. I'm gonna not show it just for security's sake, but it's just a string of characters. You're gonna click copy. There's a copy button there, and once you got that copied, you're gonna go to your Open Web UI, and you're gonna go down to your settings. So at the very bottom left-hand corner, let's just scroll through this. Yeah, you got your key. You're gonna go to your settings, bottom left-hand corner. You're gonna click on settings. You're gonna go to connections, and you'll see there is a connection here called Open Router. So this is, once you click plus, it's gonna request that you give it a base URL, which is this openrouter.ai/API/v1. And then you're going to put your API key here. This is important. That's the one you copied. And you're going to leave this blank because you will select the model you want to use for each chat. Okay. You do not have to load dollars or money into your OpenRouter account. You can use the free models. You don't need to pay. If you do want to use ChatGPT and the paid models, which have higher context length and stuff, you can, okay? But you don't need to, right? All right, so let's just go to the new chat. We're gonna see a list of models. So how to select a free model? You're gonna click free. It's gonna give you a list such as, these are small ones. You might not want to use a small one if you can run it locally. You're gonna go to like the Deepseek v3 base, R10. You're gonna do a Llama 4 Maverick, though it's not that good. You can do Quen 235B, right? So there's a free version here. If you scroll enough, here it is, free version. So you can do that. You can also set it as default if you really like it. Now let's talk about accessing this from your phone, which is the interesting part of this. If you want to have your chats local, but access the power of different kinds of AI models, you can, and you want to access it on the phone, which is the most useful part of it, is if you have it on the go with you. All you have to do is go to Pinocchio. You're going to go to share. Remember that share URL here. You're going to go ahead and point your phone. So you're going to go ahead and point your phone with the QR code. To the QR code. That's how we do this. Right. So QR code, you're going to load that. And that, when that loads, you're going to have access to this. You're going to have access to that, right? And so you have, I'll just show you that you do have access to all the chats here. So this is the chat with the snake game, right? All the code here. It's kind of hard to see. I'm sorry, guys. Again, this is kind of flexible. It's powerful. I've been having fun with it. and it's really great to have chats that are personalized. You can access multiple models. Like that is kind of the feature that I like. If I'm on ChatGPT and it's giving me, the worst stuff ever, it's not behaving. Sometimes the servers are like, I don't know, busy or something, and you can't get an answer from it. At least, and sometimes Google does the same thing. I have like a Google one, I have ChatGPT one, and sometimes either one is really not doing the best. So you can always just click through here, select the one you want, select the API you want, and ask it the same instance. And good for you, all the chats are saved in one place. And what I've been doing personally is sometimes the chat goes way too far, right? So sometimes you have a chat that exceeds like 1 million lines of code, and at that point, you're not going to be able to use either your local one, which is only 100K context length. You can't use the Deepseeks because they're 128K, and they need to, let's say, read through the whole chat. What I like to do is I like to add MiniMax to it. It's very cheap, very simple, and it does require some money. Right? So unfortunately, it does require a couple of cents to run, but you can actually run 1 million tokens. So the way you do that is you'd probably have to set it up. So I don't know if it actually does it by default, but there's a way to do it through parameters. All you have to do is put max tokens, right? So instead of default max tokens, just gonna slide it to 1 million, right? And so this is gonna give you the 1 million tokens. If you do it with Deepseek, it's just gonna crash. So don't do it 1 million tokens with Deepseek. But MiniMax can do, I believe, up to 1 million. It's gonna cost you 20 cents, right? But if you have a large chat and you need to, let's say, run it once just to grab all the chat and condense it into a summary so that your other models can pick it up, you can do that. So it's going to cost you 20 cents per 1 million tokens. You can summarize it, and then you can turn this off. You can go back to using your default free version and continue on with just reference. So they can just reference that summary of the whole chat or the whole window with all the breakdown steps. So here's an example of it, right? So I recorded the video with everything that I wanted. I went ahead and plugged that into Clipchamp. Clipchamp broke out my text. That text was too much, actually. I couldn't use anything other than MiniMax, and then it gave me a breakdown of what I talked about here with you guys. So kind of like an inception right now, but I don't know. I find it super useful, and hopefully you guys find it useful. Just comment down below if the ways you're going to be using this, or the useful stuff that you can do with it. Again, the reason that I like it is the versatility. It's on the phone. You can go ahead and just blast different kinds of AI at it. Sometimes you get one, sometimes you get the other. If you want your local horror giving some input or some pizzazz, you got that. So anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you learned something, and maybe comment below and I'll learn something. See you in the next one.